Let's see if we can finish page 15 before we start on the review that I have. Have we can up?
I didn't even do that. I didn't know you guys had started. I can, but.
Okay, so page 15.
All right, so go ahead and try number 4. I think you guys try number 4, work through that, and I'll walk through the answers. I think you should find these pretty straightforward, but we'll go through once you guys try it. Okay. So 4 through 7, and I'll show the work. Okay, so you're gonna start with your equation, find your radius, find your center. Okay, you will get to use your calculator tomorrow. All right, any questions with 4 or 5? Okay, number 6, given a circle with a center of 4, 4, draw a circle that is tangent to x equals -2. So you just want your circle to skim the surface of x equals -2. So you know that's going to help you get to your radius value.
For 5, we could just write x squared without the 0.
You're right. Yeah, the 0 doesn't have to be there. Yeah. Okay with 4 and 5. So if you count the distance, you can get to the radius. What's the radius going to be here? 6, yeah.
Wait, how do you find tangent of negative?
So you see how the tangent line is x equals -2. I want my circle to skim the surface of this line. Tangent just means that it's going to skim the surface. So if I can count the distance from the center to that line, that will be my radius. If I have my radius, I can make my circle skim the surface of that line. Okay, write the equation. Are we okay with 6? Number 7, general form. We got to get in the standard form, so we do need to complete the square twice. One's for x and one's for y. B over 2 squared, we got to do that twice. One's for x and one's for y because they're different b values for the different variables. Okay, factor for the x's multiplies to be 25, adds it to be -10. -5, -5. Multiplies to be 64, adds it to be -16. -8, -8. -88 plus 25 plus 64 gives us 1. Okay, we did 8 and 9. So number 10 says furniture store advertises free delivery up to a 30-mile radius for a store. Which, if any of these customers, qualifies for free delivery? So let's imagine we have the store centered at 0, 0. And then 30 miles away in either direction will be where the store can deliver. So let's say Hannah lives 7 miles north and 29 miles east of the store. So you can think of it as order pair 29 comma 7, right? 27 to the right, 7 to the north. I can treat this like my XY. And if we just plug into my circle formula, which is the same thing as Pythagorean theorem, which is the same thing as distance formula, I can just figure out, okay, is that going to give me a radius that's less than what? 30, right? If it's less than 30, we know it's free delivery. If it's greater than 30, then it's outside that circle. So so 29 squared plus 7 squared is 890. Take the square root of that. 29.83. So that is within that 30-mile radius. Anna lives 16 miles west. 16 miles west, that's negative 16, comma 24. Same process. This is your X and Y. Subtract your H and K. Pythagorean theorem, find R. Then Nikki, negative 28, negative 12. Pythagorean theorem. Take the square root. So Anna is going to be within that 30-mile radius. Nikki is not within that 30-mile radius. So free delivery for Hannah and Anna, but not for Nikki. Okay, let's go into worksheet 2. Okay, so go ahead and start on worksheet 2. First page is parabola. Okay, so start committing the formulas to memory. All right, parabola can take on 2 different formulas. Either x minus h squared or y minus k squared. As soon as I know which orientation my parabola is opening, I'm going to go do a quick sketch, right? Do a quick sketch so I know where my vertex is in relation to the focus. Is focus is above? Is it below? Is it to the left? To the right? I like to just do a quick sketch, and that way, if I have a sketch in front of me, I can kind of just gather information to kind of fill in information from that sketch. All right, so I want you guys to try these problems first. The key is attached, so if you're working ahead, great, keep going. But after a few minutes, I will go over the first problem and answer any questions that you guys have. But hopefully we're at a point where we're becoming more comfortable and able to get started.
The Roman quiz is doing just like this, right?
Yeah, pretty similar. Front and back, just 2 pages. And also keep in mind that when you complete the square for a parabola, you're only doing it for how many variables?
One.
One, okay. For circles, you most likely you'll have to do two, but if your x or y variable only has an x squared or just y squared, then there's no need to complete the square. You only complete the square if it's like x squared minus 8x or y squared plus 4y. And also, we don't like leading coefficients, so we want to divide all that out before we start our complete the square process. Again, this sheet is attached to your calendar, so. And you won't get to use it on the test, but right now, if you feel like you want to have something in front of you, it's attached to your calendar. Oh, yes.
The Y.
Well, remember, we don't complete the square for the x's, right? Complete the square for the x square.
Right.
So complete the square for the x's, and then on the right side, you can add space combined by terms. Eventually, you can pick up GCF, but you're not ready yet.
Right, gotcha.
You can get to the space. Okay, I have one number one up on the board. Select on any point between everything else. Predictable. Then that's your stuff on. Everybody okay with 1 and 2? So I counted from the vertex to the focus and end up being 2 units. Okay, everybody good with the first page? Okay, number 6, you're gonna have to find that distance from the center of the circle to the point of tangency. That's gonna be your radius. And then for 7, you're gonna have to complete the square, both for the x and the y. Eight and 9 are the most time intensive ones. 8, you have to take your HK and your XY. Temporarily use that XY to find your R. Once you find your R, then you write your equation. And for number 9, you're gonna have to find the midpoint first. The midpoint will be your center. And then once you have your center, then you can choose a midpoint as your XY. Then your process will feel like number 8. You're using XY and your HK to find your R, and then from there you can get enough information to get the standard form for your circle. Meant for that to be highlighted, but it didn't carry over with black and white. Okay, so my center is -1, 2. And then now I gotta pick a point on the circle. I can either choose -3, 13, and 7, or 11, 11, just like number 8. And then once I have an X, Y, and HK, I'm using that to help me find R, because I need R, just like number 8.
So like, once you get the center, then you do the same thing as that. Delta.
Exactly. Once you get that midpoint, find the center, then it's exactly number 8. Except with the fact that you get a choice to choose which XY to use. But number 8, you're stuck with whatever XY is given to you.
X value, but it will not be, oh, never mind, never mind. Sorry, I didn't see the negatives.
Okay. Number 9 is going to feel a little longer because you got to use that additional formula to use the midpoint to get to the center, because the center is not given to you with a number not.
Does it matter if we put plus or minus sign next to it?
No, that's. Unless you guys work 5 more minutes. Then you guys get your thoughts. I want everyone to have a chance to finish up. Okay, so tomorrow you'll get to use your calculators. Make sure you memorize your formulas, your variations of your parabola formula, your circle formula, midpoint. There's really no need to memorize distance and Pythagorean theorem because your circle equation is basically going to handle distance formula for Pythagorean theorem. Tomorrow morning, I will have a help session going over worksheet 3. But I encourage you guys, if you want to have an additional practice, go through worksheet 3 tonight or tomorrow morning. And that will kind of be your practice before your quiz. Your quiz will look very much like worksheet 2 and 3. It just be front and back. Two more minutes and I'll let you guys get to the quiz.